recording this right now.
Right now.
Without further ado, I want to welcome to my Facebook friends, my family, Miss Amy Izzo, who is just such an amazing, beautiful person, soul, such a talented person, a highly successful real estate agent, and now whom I'm honored to call a great friend of mine. And so to be here with you this morning, it's an honor, a privilege. I'm fired up to share some of your story with the people in our group, in our environment. And welcome. Thanks for being here, Amy.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited. I'm a huge Steve fan.
Oh, come on. Together, this is a supercharged Sunday. So we're talking about starting off a Sunday with a bang, and with inspiration and hopefully some motivation for other people, because there's a difference between motivation and inspiration. I get it. But the reason why I wanted you on here is because when it comes down to it, 80% of people, from what I've discovered through all of my interactions and connections with people, 80% of people, by their own admission, they just live lives of quiet desperation. They know they should be doing far better than they are, or could be. They just don't know how. So
Absolutely.
Luckily for folks, I've come up with a solution, a game plan, something that's so simple, relatively speaking, that it just takes the action to do it. So let me sort of preface this by saying, Amy, you and I, we started working together on May 15th, right? So we were connected on May 15th.
We were connected on May 15th. Yes.
By our amazing friend, mutual friend, Miss Gail Zintek, who is just amazing.
Amazing.
Star.
Amazing.
And
human.
So you jumped on one of our sprint calls. Okay, it was a Promise Keeper community where we get together and we were talking about, keeping the promises we make to ourselves, talking about personal integrity, doing the small things consistently every single day, because what we do every day matters more than what we do every so often. And so you were part of that conversation without actually being part of our environment. But then we had a conversation a few days later, I believe it was the 18th of May, which I think we both sort of knew like it was going to be a great endeavor together. Like we both sort of knew that we were meant to meet, we were meant to be connected. And then that day, you made an immediate decision, and you made a real decision to join the movement that we're doing with our Promise Keeper community. So let's start by this here. So in May, middle of May, where were you at that time? And what was your life like, so that we can put this into context? Because I want to make sure people understand that your healthy best future does not require a healthy past. Okay, so where were you at the time, and what was your life like?
So when we met, I was on a health journey, but I was very focused on weight loss. I was very scale focused. And I almost have to take you back a little before May, so that just so you can kind of know what 2019 Amy looked like versus when you met me in May of 2020. Because when you said we know 80% of people live a life of quiet desperation, I lived a life of quiet desperation for probably as long as I can remember, probably since I was a teenager. And I'll just say I'm 45 years young. So, I really got serious. I wanted to get serious for years, but I wasn't doing all the right things. And so you have to understand 2019 Amy for me to tell you who you met in May of 2020. So 2019 Amy was exhausted all day long. So she would wake up at whatever time. So, usually not much before 8, sometimes even later. I would just be tired all day long. I would have migraines every few days. I would get hit with vertigo on a regular basis. I had severe sleep apnea, so severe that I would pray at night when I went to sleep that I could sleep, but that I would also wake up because I was really concerned. Um, I had anxiety. I was worried all the time. I had cellulitis. I had been hospitalized 3 times in 2019 for cellulitis at 44 years old, which is silliness. Um, I had terrible, embarrassing skin problems. I was 399 pounds. I was uncomfortable all day, every day. I was embarrassed all day, every day. I would try to not have to do too much physical activity when I was with other people, like showing houses and trying to go upstairs. I didn't want to be out of breath, so I couldn't talk to my client while we were on a tour. And, they knew how knowledgeable I was, but if they had to wait for me to catch my breath, that was embarrassing. And I got to a place last year where I just decided I'm in such a desperate rock bottom situation that I'm going to have weight loss surgery. And I had a gastric sleeve in December. And I don't regret that, by the way. I'm glad that I did that, because what it did for me is it became a tool. It got some weight off of me. And so it did get me to get some sleep, and get a little bit of energy. However, where I was in May was I had lost some weight and I was feeling better in terms of my energy level. And I was proud that I had lost some weight, and I had a lot of people cheering for me that didn't even really know how I was losing the weight, right? And I was still trying to do better. Like, I was trying to eat better. I was trying to work out. But I was real focused on behaviors, right? We talk about that, real focused on what to do. And I wasn't working on my identity, my worth, putting myself first. And if someone would have said those things that way to me, including you, which you didn't, I don't know that I could have received them. Like, if someone had said you have a self-confidence issue, I knew it deep down, but I wasn't ready to really say it that way. Like, now it's fine. I had a huge self-worth, self-confidence issue. So when I met you in May, I was really like starting to feel scared to death again, because I felt better. I could sleep, a lot of those health problems I just described were gone. I was even off medication, but I was living like afraid every day that I was going to gain weight and I was going to get right back to where I was. And so I knew I needed to do something else, but I didn't really understand how. And then I met you. and the sprint people.
Well, I'll tell you what, from our first conversation, and we met virtually. Okay, so we didn't know each other personally, but we
Yes.
met through first the conversation, the sprint conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had a Zoom conversation like this. We had a conversation, but I really had to earn your trust, right? Like, I had to
Absolutely.
earn the buy-in to get you to open up your mind and realize that it wasn't the behaviors that everybody else is chasing. Everybody else is chasing the weight loss game. But, hey, what's the right tool? What's the right workout plan? What's the right nutrition plan? What's the right strategy? What's the silver bullet? Instead, we went undercover and we start uncovering the non-supportive limiting beliefs to start reinforcing and strengthening what the beliefs and thoughts and questions that you need to be asking yourself. So that's what was really compelling. It's been amazing watching your entire transformation just in a relatively short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
So since May till current, like, you are a completely different human. And it's because you did start creating the belief, the worth, and you realize that you still need to bring you with you along the journey.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I lived a life up until really May of physical responses to emotional problems.
Well
So
stated. Well put.
I
How,
don't do that anymore.
right. What does confidence mean to you now? Because you've been very, very confident in your business. You're a successful business person. You successful with your family. But what does confidence really mean to you now that we've engaged in the way we have over the last 6-7 months?
And it's on my board, the biggest lesson has been personal integrity. Biggest lesson, biggest breakthrough for me has been personal integrity. And that is keeping the promises to yourself every day, right? Putting yourself first, me first. The first time I heard you say, you come after me, like you said, that's one of the things you said, after me, then you're first.
Yeah, I tell my kids that, hey,
Yeah, you tell your kids that.
After me, you come first.
You're first.
Yeah, right.
As soon as I got that, like I really got it, I wasn't just saying it, because you start out just saying things like, okay, all right, I can be first, and okay, my family, my kids come after me, okay, after me, you first. First you just say it. When you really get it and you start to live it, life-changing, really life-changing. And so just doing a few small things over and over again and proving to myself that I am worth it, that I can be first, I should be first. And then I can make those commitments every day makes a huge difference and builds your confidence so fast. I mean, if you think about it, it's October. I just started this really in May. A lot of progress, more progress than I made in 20 years in 5 months, truly.
And what would you honestly contribute that to? Like, what if you were to pinpoint one aspect, what would you say it is? And there's several of them. I know it's probably it's hard to say like this is my one pivot I had, but what was that aha moment? What was that breakthrough? You're like, all right, now I truly understand this part of my transformation.
Truly, it's just the promises, keeping the promises to myself. Still, that's the biggest thing, because for me, I never did that. I lived life by other people's expectations, or what I thought their expectations were. Because probably what I was doing was not what anyone else was expecting, but it's what I thought. So when I stopped doing that and just started doing for me, and so I can talk about my promises. The couple of promises I made that really changed my life were, I'm going to walk, I'm going to drink water. I'm going to walk or work out every day, and I'm going to drink water every day, in just a small amount. And every time I did that and I checked the box that I did it, it built me up. And then I did it again and again and again. And it just spills over into everything.
Because now you start asking yourself, if I can do this small task, what else can I do?
So you can do anything. And people that know me, especially professionally, know me as a highly successful real estate agent. And when I talk in even small groups now, or with individuals, about how I was feeling and where I was and where I am today, they're often shocked and like, well, you were very successful. I always equated success to my business, whatever my business was. When I worked in corporate America prior, and when I worked in real estate, I didn't equate it to anything else. It's amazing how when you get your mental health right, and then which allows you to get your health right, how you become even more successful. I'm as a 6-figure income earner, tons of testimonials. I got a fan club in real estate. Think of what that could have been if I was healthier, if I had more belief in myself, right? And that's what it will be. That's not a regretful statement, by the way. That's just, I never really connected. Like, I heard people say that. I never heard it though. I didn't get it.
I would ask yourself, what is it going to do for you now?
Absolutely.
How is this going to best serve you now that you have your health? Not ideally, because this is what I've discovered is this is what I've discovered also with our conversations, Amy. And here's where I've seen your biggest transformation, or one of them, was that you finally learned and discovered to be happy in this moment.
Yes.
Blissful in this moment, understanding that you've produced this moment. Mm-hmm. You're not going to dwell in it. You're not going to be regretful. You're not going to be sorrowful, but you're not you're dissatisfied that you don't want to continue living in this moment. It's called blissful dissatisfaction.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
And that is something that you have really wrapped your brain around and your mind around. And I've seen that happening where you're again, you have no reason not to be happy, but we get down on ourselves because we're not in the state we want to be in. Most people resist change because they're so focused on how little they've come versus how far they have to go. So it's been extremely inspiring to watch you do what you do. And how is you being tough on your standards? We talk a lot about standards and values and the life rules. You being tough on your standards, but not on the people around you. How has that inspired the people that you really care about in your world?
Well, there are changes in my household. My kids, my husband are all making healthy changes to try to get in a better spot. And never once have I asked them. I don't boast about what I'm doing. I don't ask them. They just observe what's going on. I've made some changes in terms of what I bring into the house, things like that, what's here and available. But I have 19-year-old, almost 20-year-old teenagers. I have a 13-year-old. So they can, make all kinds of decisions. But, my daughter's exercising regularly. She's getting out and walking, not always with me, but on her own, or finding things that she's excited that she can do that she likes. I never even knew my 13-year-old meditates. And she loves it and she sees great benefits in it. And so she's taught me how to do that. And I didn't even know she was doing that in my household, which is a great thing. And I talked to her. We are very close. You just can't always know everything, right? And so she felt comfortable just exposing me to that when I started to get healthier. So, and now my husband is working on his own health journey, all on his own. So, which is, exciting.
It is exciting.
Which is exciting.
So as we're having this conversation, I always have other people's conditions in consideration, like where they're at in their life and where they're struggling, where their challenges are, all the false starts they've been through. You've mentioned several times, like even through this process together, you've been on the struggle bus. Like the struggle bus is real. Like it doesn't just go.
The bus is real.
The pain.
I have been an avid rider.
Yeah, I mean, there's still fear involved with everything. Like fear doesn't just dissipate, doesn't disappear. It's just how do we lean into the fear? Because if we don't lean into the fear, then the fear becomes the limitation. So as I'm thinking here, there's really two emotions that affect every single decision. It's pain and pleasure. Right? So logically, it makes sense. Like logically, for years, you've told yourself, like most everybody does, every human logically thinks, you know what? I need to get myself healthier. I need to get fit. I know I need to exercise. I need to drink more water. I need to eat nutritiously better. So logic makes us think, but it's the emotion. It's the emotion that makes us take action. So come May 15th, when you decided from Gail's introduction, the emotion was strong enough for you to make a real decision. And by the way, for those that are watching this on a replay or watching this live, I forgot to say this. Welcome to the replay.
Welcome to the replay.
Welcome to the replay.
And thank you, Gail Zintak, for the introduction.
So how do you know you've made a real decision? You know you've made a real decision because you've taken immediate action on it. Because if you don't take immediate action, we know this. If you don't take immediate action, it becomes another passing thought. It sort of comes in, out, and then you're looking for that next opportunity.
Yes.
But make a real decision. Logically, you've been sitting on the fence too long. Now it's time to say, all right, where are the emotions? We talk about reasons, we talk about emotions, we talk about drive, we talk about the juice behind what our goals are. But I want to give you so much credit, Amy, for you taking back control of your life and for you making a stand and you being your own advocate. We were just talking before the call and we were, I said, how do people not watch Amy Izzo and not root for her to win? Right? And your response was, the best part is that you root for yourself to win.
Yeah.
It's always great to have that environment, right? Like to have that support and the group and the rally and the troops. But the truth is, what's sustainable? Inspiration is sustainable. You believing in
Absolutely.
your own cause is sustainable. You acquiring that worth, that belief, that desire, that drive, that is what is going to get you to the promised land.
Mm-hmm.
So speak on that for just a quick second, and then we'll wrap it up. I know that we have a packed Sunday in this house. I'm not sure how you guys are.
We do. Um, the consistent actions that you take every day really make a big difference in who you can become, who you will become, and who you can become. So I'm not the best version of myself yet. And that's great news, by the way, because that just means there's more really great stuff ahead. I don't know what that looks like, but there's more really great stuff ahead.
We
And
don't see
I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about it anymore. So, just getting into the right environment is so important. Getting yourself into a place, I was blessed and grateful to meet you and the sprint that you've created and still am. And I'm in my second sprint now, and there will be a third, right? There'll be more. This is a lifestyle change, by the way, but I'm going to be here for a while. But the whole community, that you've created and that we're building is just amazing. It's just an amazing support. And I've learned that everybody struggles. If I looked at a person and I just thought, oh, they're super fit, I just thought that was easy for them and that's the way they were. And this is the hand I was dealt, and then I gotta live with this hand. And it's not true. It's just not true. So, getting into their environment, taking your action, the consistent actions every day will just move the needle so much, so fast.
Awesome. So let me explain real quick, like what the 90-day sprint is. Cause I'm sure folks are like, what is this sprint you're talking about? What's this promise keeper community? The 90-day sprint, it's not a race.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a race. It's simply you taking back ownership of your life. It's accountability. And accountability, by the way, is not consequence. There's sort of a negative stigma when people say accountability. No, it's accountability is ownership.
Mm-hmm.
If you're open, willing, ready, it's not enough to be at the right place at the right time, such as most people are. Like, you're watching this, you're at the right place at the right time. There's no question about it. I am convinced of it. There's no way that you're going to convince me otherwise. However, you need to be the right person at the right place at the right time. And what does that mean?
I'm sorry to interrupt you. That was a big aha for me. If I had found this a year ago, forget it. I wasn't ready.
And that's okay. It's not for everybody, because you do need to show up daily. You do need to hold yourself accountable. You have to do the things that you're currently not doing that you know you need to be doing. And it could be as simple as drinking another 15 ounces of water per day. It could be you not hitting the snooze bar.
Absolutely.
In the morning. It could be you just moving for 10 minutes per day. That is the commitment that you need to make to yourself. And that's why this environment's powerful, is because we're your accountability buddies. Like, it's not just a rah-rah. Everybody responds great to thumbs up and high fives. Everybody does. But that's not what it's about here. You'll get it because you're putting in the work, but it's about you showing up for yourself every single day by committing to at least 2 small commitments. We call them power promises, which create a ripple effect in your life, the compound effect. And as you mentioned earlier, the environment, you're doing it for yourself, but you're never by yourself. Never.
So important. So important. Right. And, now in this world that we live in, this community is right here. It's online. I don't care where you are in the world, you can get this. If you need it, you can get this right here.
Yeah. And this all came about, by the way, because of the pandemic. The reason why I put this together and said, hey, we're going to create a community that's going to be unshakable. It's going to be relentless. It's going to be determined and focused to get back our life. Instead of playing the victim role during the pandemic, we're taking back control of our life during the pandemic. So when you feel helpless, become helpful. So I said, for $97 per month, $97 per month, you can become part of this community, which is so much more than you just showing up, because you are creating relationships. You're creating the the foundation, the fuel to get you through every day, but they all stack up, and the days are they're so inspiring just to watch everybody going through it. So selling is the art, and here's my opinion. The reason why it's a transformation is because selling is the art of giving a transformation that nobody's gonna be able to get for free. Information's everywhere. Go look it up. Go look up how to make a transformation, how to lose weight, how to drop fat, how to eat better. But you doesn't mean diddly squat until you actually put action to it and have consistency and accountability.
Absolutely.
In the right environment. So the environment game, which we have here, supports the mindset game, which we have to do every day as well. The mindset game supports the skills game. Your activity, your workout program, your nutrition, all those great things. So if that's something that will serve you and you want to become part of a 90-day sprint with us and make radical change and difference in how not just the outside transformation, but an internal transformation, becoming the person that you desire to be, because we become, we do it, and then we have it. But we have to become first. Then I'm going to drop the link down below here when we get off this call here, and then I'll be willing to even have a conversation with folks and be like, all right, well, let's see what your commitment is to yourself.
Easiest thing I ever did. Hardest, easiest thing I ever did, right? To change my life more than any other action.
And there's so many groups out there, and there's so many, we'll call them opportunities, that they're charging you a unicorn and then they deliver you a donkey. It's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
This is like, I'm excited. Like, I wake up enthusiastic about just making an impact and making a change with folks that are ready to step up and take control.
And I knew that from the first time I listened to you in a sprint call. So the first time, like, if you're wondering about, because I wondered about Steve Trzecek. If you wonder about Steve Trzecek, I mean, you are not only one of the most intelligent people I've ever met, but one of the most compassionate, caring, passionate people. You really just, everything that you do, you're just trying to change someone's life in a positive way. And that's where I wanted to be. So
Amy,
I'm so thankful to be here.
I appreciate that so much. And here's the truth. And then we'll end it with this here. And I have another question for you because I think it's important. But I really honestly tell people everybody the same thing. Like, my information is very congruent. I'm very consistent with my message. And what you've done, Amy, is you've taken action on it. So I give you the credit, and for you having the insight and the dedication to taking the information and manifesting it every single day. So you've done the work, you've put it in, and now you're inspiring other folks to do the same thing. I can't be more grateful for you and our relationship. And I know that this is just the beginning.
Absolutely.
So how do you feel today? I want to end this, like, how do you feel today? And what's, like, maybe a great piece of advice for somebody that maybe is contemplating quitting on themselves, or they're going through their own false start right now, or struggling? Like, what would be one piece of advice that you would want to give at this moment for them?
Just don't give up on yourself. Just you can make a change. It doesn't matter where you are. Your past doesn't predict your future. It doesn't. So, and there's no shame in where you are today. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter what it's about. For me, it was about my weight and my health. And I'm probably an extreme case, right? It doesn't matter where you are. There's no shame in where you are. The shame would be staying there and not, moving through it. Right. So just don't stay where you are. Just, and if something here resonated, reach out. Let's get you on a call to listen in. Let's get you to talk to Steve, and just consider, that there might be some actions you could take that could move you forward. And I'm happy today. I'm happy. Am I where I want to be? No. So, but I'm becoming, the person that I want to be, and I'm defining what I want in life. For 45 and a half years, I did not really consider what I wanted out of my life. I lived a life by what I thought other people wanted. So, man, that's a big change,
What a way
and
to
that's a good change.
what a way to close out an impactful conversation, Amy.
Awesome. Thanks for doing this. This is great.
I appreciate it. I have a feeling this won't be the first or last time that we do the conversation, but
Nope.
I will let you
I'll
enjoy.
be back.
Yeah, you'll be back. I'll let you enjoy the time with your family. Thanks everybody for joining us today. And when you're ready to make a change or a significant transition or transformation, like Amy said, just reach out. It can't hurt to have a conversation or be part of a conversation we have twice per week. So with that note, Amy, greatly appreciate you. I'm humbled and honored to spend this time with you this Sunday morning.
Me too.
If you're ready to go, Amy, conquer on the day, what are you going to tell me?
Let's go.
Let's go. Thanks, everybody. Make it a great day. Make it one worth repeating.
Yes, absolutely.
Bam.